Hi Cancer, this is your August 24 soul story. If you have a sun, rising or moon in the sign, this is your reading, and this is Romy. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel and tuning in this month. We're going to open up with the Queen of Pentacles. Everything changes. Everything will be okay, and there's something really valuable, I think, about what this month is delivering to you. The key message, I think, is around how you can create perfection in what seems like the most imperfect conditions. You know, growth is a process, and your Queen of Pentacles is reminding you that in a world that says you can have everything instantaneously, we never really get to bypass doing the work, and that's what your soul wanted for you. And when you can look around at what's going on for you and you can remember the value of you, you're going to be able to not only adapt, to accept, but to strive to keep improving and keep evolving and really making the best of where you are, but knowing that everything about where you are is changing. Now we move into the month of August and welcome a Mercury Retrograde arriving on the 4th of the month in Virgo, shifts into Leo later in August on the 14th before stationing direct on the 28th. So it's really influencing the whole month ahead. In this time, yes, there's a lot of reminiscing going on, and it's like pieces of the past are so relevant and needed in many ways to help you make sense of the presence. The Queen of Pentacles, I think, is also telling you that, you know, there's work to do in a certain area, and as you sort of have the opportunity maybe to pour back over the details during this retrograde, you're going to unearth something super valuable. Remember, Leo season is your second house, and that is the whole intentionality, you know, what you draw value against, and how the way in which you've changed, you know, through your solar returns is now being expressed and starting to take shape and form in the way that you move through the world. We also have a new moon in Leo arriving on the 4th, and it's a beautiful reset. Your 10 of Pentacles tells me that this is a point in time where we're reaching a fruition, a culmination of a cycle. And, you know, that is perhaps being directly connected to how secure you are feeling in a certain area of your life. The experiences that you've gained through that are really important, because how you set about your intentions around that new moon and how you are revisiting some of the visions that you have for yourself, you know, they want to be strengthened. And remember, we're now working our way towards Lion Gate, the 8-8 portal, which is really going to activate this awareness of how your energy is shifting and changing. The evolution of your soul is here, and you have to love yourself through the process of how challenging and how complex and how disruptive that can be, right? But your 10 of Pentacles is also telling me, you know, there's perhaps something that you are addressing, you know, perhaps within a family dynamic, perhaps within the very foundations of what makes you feel secure. And I think your willingness to do what is necessary, you know, that Queen of Pentacles has a very sort of pragmatic perspective on things this month. And so even though there is the reminiscence, you're also you know, not doing that idly. It's almost like, okay, if we're going to go back over this, or if we're back here again, then let's make it count, let's address this, let's do what is necessary. And, you know, sometimes, Cancer, you have to forget what you feel, and you do need to remember what you deserve. And I think there's an importance about that. Now, one of the other things, you know, we want to highlight to you is that this Lionsgate portal, along with that new moon in Leo, invites you to revisit a lot of the sacred tools and practices that you use personally for manifestation. Now, it might have been some time since you applied them. You know these things, but you know, the actual integration or the embodiment of them fully. You know, sometimes that can ebb and flow. That's okay, but go back to what worked for you in the past, or perhaps take this time to sort of look and see if there are new things that you can now find out about or upskill yourself in to adopt, and really use those to help support this vision that you are creating for yourself. The retrograde energy of Mercury says don't let the overthinking rob you of your joy, because it's really easy to get frustrated. And I think the thing about August is, you know, it's painting a picture and calling you towards it to say, how can you be bolder in what you want for yourself? What do we need to reset, relearn, reinvent? But at the same time, you know, there's a lot of pressured, intense astrological conversations by way of the planetary aspects. Now, listen, it's not like an eclipse energy that blindsides you. It's almost like stuff that you see coming. It's like you're very well aware of what the challenges are, right? You're very well aware of the things that haven't worked or where you're up against something. So it's not like it's coming as a surprise to you. And that in some ways can help you to prepare, but also to, you know, make sure you're conserving your energy, and also really being tuned in to notice to what extent are the things that haven't worked or aren't working consuming you, to the degree that you're not really that focused on what you want. Your forward focus isn't really getting time to breathe. And, you know, if you're sitting in a place of like, I don't know what the next step is, then perhaps you need to choose the one that's going to be best for your mental health, your emotional well-being. You know, your Five of Cups has something really valuable to share, you know, and remember there are always cups still standing when we talk about the influence of this coming in. But this is how I see, you know, the month of August. It's like it backs us into a corner, it's putting us under pressure, it's asking us to go bigger. You know, we're feeling that intensity, but that's sometimes when the diamond gets revealed. That's sometimes when we know so clearly what we don't want, that all of a sudden we can start to address with more accuracy, more truth, more alignment, the way that we want to go, the direction we want to take. That's why I'm saying you can create and foster and, you know, bring in the conditions so that something perfect can materialize out of what feels like seemingly imperfect conditions. Yeah, so the day after Lionsgate, we have asteroid goddess Juno moving into Libra. And what I've been saying, Temperance, beautiful, is that for me, this feels like there's a moment where something from a justice and a karma perspective rights itself, okay? Whether that's connected to a contract, an agreement, a relationship, a partnership, all of these things to which Juno rules over. You know, you're set to see some positivity, some sense of knowing that you're going to be liberated from something, perhaps even liberated from the loss with that Five of Cups, you know. But Temperance says there's a timing aspect to this, a divine time, so it might not, you know, mean that you get to enjoy the manifestation of that happening fully in August, but you certainly get news and information to that effect, okay? Now, Temperance also talks about trying to find a middle path. So this is going to be a reminder that if you find yourself moving to the extremes, you know, maybe it's sort of like an all or nothing, or your expectations are so high, it means your disappointments can be, you know, incredibly full on. But if we can sort of find almost a little bit of a detachment to the things that we desire, you know, that's the way that they try to encourage you, isn't it? When you're manifesting, it's like you have all of this clarity around what you want, and then you just simply let it go. And I think as a approach in August, that's going to be super helpful, you know. And Temperance is going to say, okay, let's just find the middle road right now, you know, let's not even come to any like firm conclusions. In some ways, let's let it play out and see what comes back around for us, because there's so many planetary movements back spinning now that there's so much that needs to be reevaluated and reassessed from what we've been through thus far in 2024, okay? You know, the thing I want to say as well, Cancers, it's like you're not meant to live like others. You're meant to live as you. So there's an opportunity to sort of fall back in love with yourself and your story in August. But that means that you have to look at the highlights, at the major events that have taken place, at the comebacks, the resiliency. It's like really identifying all the things that you've done right. And again, it's going to take a shift in perspective and attitude. Your Seven of Cups brings in options and possibilities, and I think that's really important. You want to feel right now that there are different ways that you can move forward right now. The solutions are coming in, and even if you feel that that's not the case, one of the things I really see taking place in the build up to the full moon in Aquarius on the 19th, in spite of some of the squares and oppositions we're going to be experiencing in the few days that lead to that, you're set to kind of almost discover, stumble if you like, across a way forward, a solution, a breakthrough, something you haven't considered, you didn't think was possible. It may not even have been on the table, and all of a sudden it's like, well, why not? Why could I not do it that way? Why can't that be the thing that works for me? And that can be a game-changing moment. And if we circle back around to what happens on the 14th, we've got Mars conjunct Jupiter in Gemini. And this is a powerful moment of almost like a catalyst to say, this is what I want. It's driving me forward. There's an expansion happening here. We're very aware of our physicality and the limits that may be holding us back in some way regarding that, versus how we're wanting to grow and allow something to evolve. So we have that kind of friction energy, right? And that friction and that sort of contrast plays out quite heavily in the second half of August. But honestly, if you can come at that from a place of leveraging it, knowing that you can work to direct and channel that really powerfully, you will become more determined. And you will find something in yourself that says, God, I didn't know I had it in me, is almost what comes through. I didn't know I had it in me. And I think that this is, in a way, you saying kind of enough is enough. There's no part of your experience right now that is telling you that there are not ways that you can change each and every aspect of it. There really is the reminder that starts with how you shift the way that you think about it. And, the stress that may apply itself in any one area, sometimes can be the answer that we need. Sometimes we just need that little bit of energy that sort of focuses itself so critically in a specific way that we're forced to look at something, we're forced to address something, we're forced to face something. And that's kind of what I see playing out for you through that month of August. And the conclusion that I believe you arrive at is just one of, okay, let's do this. It's sort of like, okay, now or never. What have I got to lose? This is the type of mentality that I see you adopting, because it's just like, well, okay, I can sit here and I can continue to ruminate on these things. I can go backwards. I can, stay put and know that I will be here in the next few weeks and months or years even. Or I can just prepare myself and, take that leap. And everything about Leo energy, everything about this season of Brave says, what's holding you back? Let's take front and center stage. Let's let the light shine on you. Let's believe in ourselves. Let's find that self-esteem, and let's fall back in love with everything that makes you you, the gifts that you have, and the value of you. And I think that that's what can be your experience in August if you let some of these roadblocks, you let some of these trigger points, and some of the things that feel like they are incredibly annoying and frustrating, and the building up of that sort of pressure point, almost create a release for you. Because that's the thing, at some point when pressure builds, there is a release, and that energy is really powerful, right? If you think about like a volcano exploding, the kind of pressure that can come from that can catapult you forward, can create this incredible leap. And that's why I think August is so valuable, but people have to understand how to work with the energy of it, right? So things from the past, experiences that we have, what we're going through, all of it helping as it coalesces in ways that feel like it's sort of directing us. So we take a step back, perhaps, yes we do. Maybe we have to circle around, maybe we have to go through something we don't want to, or come up against something that we're not very pleased about, and yet it's the very thing that will help us in terms of what happens. Now, when we move into Virgo energy from the 22nd, we also have asteroid goddess Vesta shifting into this sign. Taking care of the details matters. Now, you're going to be in third house at that point, right? So communication is going to start to open back up as Mercury stations direct on the 28th, and you may have to be making some plans, some short-term plans and strategies that are going to get you from, one place to the next, knowing that that's not necessarily the full direction you want to take in the bigger picture, but in the here and now it's what's necessary. Okay, so we've got this big beautiful vision you've revisited and tended to, and perhaps made some adjustments through the first part of August in Lionsgate. And now as we move towards the end of the month, you're starting to put things in place that are going to support you based on the knowledge, what you've learned, the conclusions you've come to, and what's been revealed through that kind of diamond energy. If you're new to the channel, Cancer, my last 3 cards we look at in the extended version of my reading, you can find the link in comment and description box underneath. I talk for another 30 minutes or so. We're going to look at a personal question and a relationship card for you as well. If you support me in the extended, it really helps me to keep showing up to do the free readings. Your investment is invaluable, and I really I'm grateful for those of you in a position to do so, and coming over to continue the conversation with me. Now, we are going to clarify these cards and just see the direction we'll take that extended reading, okay? This month, please go ahead, check out on my website, romywiser.com, my Lionsgate meditation for you. You'll also find a soul journey to work with Juno. You can find my Life Soul Vision Oracle cards over there. You'll also discover my book, my musings, ways to work with me, my membership. So everything is at your fingertips if you go explore romywiser.com. Okay, 5 of Cups brings in our Queen of Swords, and we've got the energy of the Star, the Hermit, the Sun, the Star. I love these majors coming in. We've got the Hanged Man here with Temperance, but then Ace of Swords. Okay, beautiful reminder that we're not going to be stuck. 3 of Wands, Page of Cups. What about this 8 of Swords? We've got the Empress and the 3 of Pentacles. Okay, all the cards I use are always listed below as well, Cancer. Okay, right, what do we have for Life Soul Vision Oracle? So this is my own deck. How are we adding to this conversation? We have the Wishing Tree, we have Spirit Horse, Sovereign Power, Solstice, Soul Stories, Encoded Footprints, and the Queen of Fire. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to pull one more oracle for you, Cancer. This is for the month of August. The Guardian Stone, Awakening, Progress, Initiation. Okay, beautiful. Thank you for being here and tuning into the channel. This is Romy. Please head over and join me on the extended if you want to carry this conversation on, and I will see you there. Take care, and I'll see you again next month. Bye for now.